Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you are new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And I got a good one for us today. We got to bring up somebody who made headlines about 15 years ago, 10 or 15 years ago. And she was considered the first transracial educator in America. This was Rachel Dolezal, who was actually a Caucasian woman who identified herself as being a black woman. And she was on the Today Show with Matt Lauer many years ago when he was asking her, was she Caucasian or African American? And she sat there quiet for a second, and she said she identified with being black. And it was clear as day. They showed an older picture. They showed her parents that she had been born a white female. So that was kind of interesting. But she made the news again here recently. So let's get into the story of Rachel Dolezal, who was fired from her teaching job over an Onlyfans account. Rachel Dolezal has lost her teaching job after her explicit pictures from her Onlyfans account began making rounds on social media. Ms. Dolezal, once an African American Studies professor at Washington State and the head of the Spokane chapter of the NAACP, became infamous after she was exposed for pretending to be a light-skinned black woman, achieving the look by getting perms and spray tans. She had disappeared into relative obscurity until now. Now known as Nikki Diallo, after changing her name in 2017, she began to teach at Catalina Foothills Unified School District in Tucson, Arizona in August 2023. The school district recently fired her after the content of her OnlyFans account began to spread like wildfire online, posted to platforms like Reddit. In one explicit photo posted on Reddit, Ms. Dolezal could reportedly be seen suggestively posing by a Christmas tree. It appeared that she had a public Instagram page where she had linked an OnlyFans page she seemingly owned. The OnlyFans account was linked alongside her book, podcast, and her Netflix documentary. So Ms. Dolezal, if you remember, 15 years ago, she was trying to come across and acclimate herself in Washington as a African American woman when she was clearly of Caucasian descent. So she started perming her hair and trying to darken her skin, and it made headlines when her parents had exposed her through local news channels that her daughter was in the head of the African American Studies at this university, and she was not African American and was pretending to be. So it kind of made Dolezal look like she's not mentally all there. And now she's trying to redirect her life, and she's teaching at a elementary school in Arizona, in Tucson, and then she's got an OnlyFans account. She initially launched her OnlyFans page in 2021 for the cost of $9.99 monthly, offering fans fitness videos, hair tutorials, and foot pics. As recently as Wednesday, February 14th, Ms. Dolezal wrote on her OnlyFans, "Happy Valentine's Day," to her fans. She said, "I dropped a package of love in your DMs. In the past, she reportedly offered content including an 18-image explicit collection and a video of self-pleasure to orgasm under the Christmas tree, as well as 35 pics of Dabu Tay and 2 videos of tatas according to the screenshots from the Outkick. She reportedly working at Sunrise Drive Elementary as a part-time after-school extended day instructor and substitute teacher while she's doing this OnlyFans thing. As of this week, a spokesperson for the Catalina Foothills School District informed the Daily Beast that Ms. Dolezal was no longer working for them. They explained her posts are contrary to our district's use of social media by district employees policy and our staff ethics policy. As you remember, so even though she was doing this in her personal life and on her own, she is an elementary school teacher. The general public got wind of it and some of the things that she was posting for her OnlyFans, which subsequently got her fired. There's a certain moral turpitude clause in being a teacher, professor, a lawyer, a doctor, where whether you're at work or not work, you still have to carry yourself in an upstanding light, especially as a teacher that's around children. And she's doing explicit content on her OnlyFans, which got exposed. But back in 2014, she made international headlines when a local news reporter asked her point blank, "Are you African American?" Although Dolezal initially played dumb, she walked away when the reporter asked her if both her parents were white. I said that to you in the beginning of this. She became a national punchline after her fraudulent narrative was exposed, and it was revealed that she had been a white woman all along. She was president of the NAACP local chapter in Spokane, Washington, which she could still be the president of the NAACP as a white person, but typically you have a black person or an African American in that post. At the time, she claimed she was trans black. So this is all back in 2014, before this LGBTQ, transgender, and all of this trans stuff has been taking place. She was ahead of her time, but she was not transgender, she was trans black. Explaining to the Washington Post that she was biologically born white to white parents, but she identifies as black. That summer, Ms. Dolezal's white parents spoke to the New York Times about her odd choice of identity. "She's clearly our birth daughter, and we're clearly Caucasian. That's just a fact," said her father, Lawrence, told the outlet at the time. "She is a very talented woman doing work she believes in. Why can't she do that as a Caucasian woman, which is what she is? She can still be for black causes." In the civil rights movement, there were several white people that were part of the civil rights movement with Dr. King and the Southern Christian leadership movement, which helped it progress. Black Lives Matter, which was started by 3 black women. There were several white women and white men that helped the cause. In South Africa, during apartheid, there were several white Africans that were against apartheid. So you don't have to change your race to mitigate how some other race of people are being dealt with and how you want to enhance their well-being. You could be a straight guy and still be in favor of LGBTQ issues. So she is kind of mincing. She doesn't have to be black, which devalues her position because it's clear as day that she's white. She is devaluing her position by lying and pretending to be something that she is not. In 2021, in a 2021 appearance on the Tamron Hall show, she doubled down on her identity. This is Dolezal. She explained to Hall that she identified as transracial, meaning that the way she expresses herself crosses racial boundaries. Wow, that almost sounds like Dr. King. I'm just joking. And as far as crossing racial boundaries. So Rachel Dolezal is back in the news, and she went from back in 2014 being a heavy advocate for African American causes. Mind you, she was white, but she lost a little bit of her luster and a little bit of her voice by telling people that she was black and she is actually Caucasian. And I think times have gotten rough, and what a lot of women are doing in today's time versus men is that they got nothing else going for them. They can always open up an Onlyfans account. And I guess there are plenty enough, I don't want to say single men, or just men in general, that are going to OnlyFans and paying for content of all types of nature and concern. And there's actually a lane and a vestibule for women to make some money. However, it's very hard for you to, with the stigma that's placed on OnlyFans, it's very hard for you to be an elementary school teacher, grammar school teacher, high school teacher, and even college professor. There's two professors out of the University of Wisconsin, the La Crosse campus, that got fired for having an OnlyFans account in one of my videos here recently. So I don't think being a teacher, let alone an elementary school teacher, is befitting for any woman or man to have sexual explicit content on OnlyFans or any other social media outlet. And it just shows you that Rachel Dolezal still has not found her niche in life to do something completely positive. She can still be for black agendas and black narratives. I could be a black person living in Arizona or California or New Mexico, and I could have a vested interest in Native American issues and their land. You don't have to be of that ethnicity in order to take on that plight or that mission and that movement. Be who you are, who God made you to be. Now, I know that gets controversial in the LGBTQ community, but as far as Rachel Dolezal with the black-white race issue, I don't think that's as serious as the LGBTQ transgender issue, so I'm not trying to mesh them together, but she is the first person to talk about transracial issues and identifying with a different race. I mean, we've seen tons of white rappers that are in hip hop and try to act hip and black. Is that a component of transracialism? You've seen black people have seen other black professionals try to talk and act white. And many times in the black community, one of the old stereotypes is calling that person an Uncle Tom, which is denigrating and negative. People trying to assimilate themselves into different cultures, you don't have to lose your essence of who you truly are. So I think Rachel can take on African American issues and still maintain her being a Caucasian woman. A black person can assimilate himself into a white environment in corporate America, in the neighborhood, in the school system, and still maintain his blackness. Rachel Dolezal seems like she has a little bit of a screw loose, and mental health is a real issue, and hopefully she is getting the psychological help that she definitely needs. And now that she has lost her job as an elementary school teacher as a result of OnlyFans, that is going to cause even more trepidation in her personal life, and she's all over the national news. So that's going to be stressful. So hopefully she has a base, a family base, a therapeutic base where Rachel Dolezal can finally get things in order and be who she is in her true essence, like we all need to be. That's why it's all about manifesting your truth in a righteous, positive, and God-fearing way. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Tell me what you think on the Rachel Dolezal getting fired from her teaching job over an Onlyfans account. She can't stay out of the news, and the same Caucasian woman who thinks that she is black has been going on for over a decade now. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in the right direction, positive, God-fearing, and stay safe and happy.